Hi folks, this is Matthew from Fiberglass Supply, and today we are going to walk you through how to do a tinted lamination. Tinted lams are all the rage right now in surfboard building. They are easy to do, they're fun to do, and you get the really cool see-through look, crystalline look of the foam below the colored resin. We're going to start out on this board with yellow, and we're going to do a number of colored stripes across the width of the board, and we're going to kind of butt each of those up together and then do the tip and the tail clear. So what we're doing here with the yellow resin is we're laminating out a stripe. It's a little bit wider than the squeegee wood. What we're trying to accomplish at this stage is to get that cloth wet out with no air bubbles, nice and neat, and to keep a pretty straight edge is what we're after in this one. As we get the bottom there wet out and we're happy with it, we'll begin to bring the resin down over the rail, and we'll waterfall the excess resin into our bucket. We're using the edge of the squeegee as we guide it down to wet out the lap that is hanging down there and get plenty of resin on that, so that when we go to put it up, there'll be enough resin to bond it to the rail and the deck part that's exposed, and that it'll also have the same color depth as the stripe on the bottom. As we work that out over that rail, we're just going to let that hang there. What happens in these multicolor resin tints is that the area that gets saturated out first, for example with this color yellow, will stay that color when we butt up the other resin, and if we get a little bit of the other resin on top of it, it's not going to displace that yellow color. Now if you work it a lot, you can get some displacement or some discoloring, but by and large you're just going to work right up to it. And if you go over a little bit, which is normal, you won't see a lot of discoloring, especially if you're standing 5 or 6 feet away. If you're looking right at it, you'll probably be able to notice something. So now we're going to start in with the second color. We're going orange here. So we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to wet out a stripe. We're going to try to keep it about the same width. And you'll notice as we do that, we're going to bring that over and right up to the edge of that yellow. We'll probably go over in a couple spots, but like I just explained, that really doesn't matter because that orange is on top of the yellow, and when we scrape it off with the squeegee, the yellow below, you'll see it, and the orange is removed. So we're just spreading out the resin here, kind of going a little resin rich to allow that resin to soak into the fabric, allow the air to work itself out. And once we get that all done up how we like it, we're going to waterfall down over the edges and then move on to the next color. So as soon as we get to that point here, we'll speed the video up so you don't have to listen to me talking the whole time as we do all these colors. So again, the key part at this point is that we want to work all the air bubbles out. We want a nice, good lam. That solid lam that's void free is what will keep the board from being weak and keep it watertight. So it'll avoid pinholes and keep everything tight. And just like we did with the yellow here, we're going to waterfall the resin down over the lap, get that lap saturated out, and let it hang there while we do the other ones. So we're going to speed the video up and the rest of the board laminate or wet out, and we're putting the rails up, or putting the laps up onto the rail and the deck. We're going to come back and hit some of these areas that have been sitting for a little while, and need a little bit more resin with the brush. So we're just going to get a small brush and some resin on it, and kind of paste those up with excess resin that we'll come back and remove later with the squeegee. I don't know if you noticed, but as we're putting these laps up with the squeegee, we're either switching squeegees for the different colors, or we're taking a rag and carefully wiping off the colored resin from the squeegee as we put them up. This helps prevent getting some color into the areas that we've done in the clear. The colored areas, like I was explaining earlier, you have some tolerance with those. They're not too picky. But if you get some colored resin on top of the clear resin, chances are that's going to show up. So we're being careful in this part of it to wipe that off and to keep that color from getting too muddled on the top. Now later, this board actually is going to get stripes all the way around. So at a later point, we're going to flip it over, we're going to lam the top, and we're going to match those stripes on the top to the stripes on the bottom. And there's some color variations in the rails where the thickness gets doubled up. We have finished laminating the bottom of this board, and it looks great. For more information on doing colored laminations, contact us at fiberglasssupply.com, and if you've enjoyed this video, follow our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.